All right. Hello, everybody. Happy Giving Tuesday. Woo! We are very excited to be with you here today, and it's an honor to give you our next session, which is on Wellbeing Goes Beyond the Bottom Line, partnerships that empower the youth and transform society. Very honored to be here with Angie and Adam. Do you guys want to introduce yourselves a little bit for the group here?
Adam Vasallo. I am still the Chief Marketing Officer for Big Brothers Big Sisters of America.
Hi, everyone. First, thank you so much for having me. This is an honor to be here. My name is Angie On. I am the Director of Media Strategy at Ulta Beauty. I have been there for a few months. I head up media strategy, media activations, measurement, and operations.
Amazing. And I'm not sure if the room is familiar. We've obviously learned a lot today already about some of the great partnerships that Big Brothers and Big Sisters are doing nationwide. But obviously the one with Ulta goes back a little bit further than people might not be aware of. And the roots are very deep to the C-suite level as well. And I was wondering, this could be for both of you guys or for either of you, but I would love for one of you guys to share more to the group about the genesis of this partnership, where it started from the beginning, and then from the local level to the national scale.
So our partnership started at the Chicago local agency, and it actually started with a person, Dave Kimball, who is our now CEO. He was a big, and he was volunteering at Big Brothers Big Sisters, introduced the two companies, and we have had a partnership for almost 10 years. Started at the local level, and a couple years ago, we expanded that partnership to a national level, which we're so excited and so proud of some of the things that we've done already. And we have such synergies around our missions. Ulta Beauty is really committed to supporting and improving well-being for young people, but we are committed to using beauty as a force for good. Beauty is not just about makeup. It is about self-care. It is about self-esteem. It's about building self-confidence in people who need it. And so together we are able to champion mental health. We are able to champion wellness and well-being and really inspire joy in people. And I think that's really where the power of beauty comes in.
I think what's so natural is that we had a local relationship that existed with Big Brothers Big Sisters of Chicago. When Ulta, as a major corporation, makes the decision that they're going to start focusing on wellness, that's a priority for them, it allowed us to say, hey, we have this local relationship. And for us, Ulta started to consider hey, what are the things about Big Brothers Big Sisters that could be a great fit? And at Big Brothers Big Sisters, we've talked a lot today about our commitments to preparing young people for college and career readiness, for using mentorship to help young people succeed and do better in the classroom. But one thing that's been a core of the Big Brothers Big Sisters mission has been creating and really empowering youth health and wellness. And it was something that during the pandemic got exacerbated as young people who have very sophisticated social networks. And suddenly schools were closed, after school programs were closed. They were no longer able to see their friends on the weekends. But mentorship is not place-based, it's relationship-based. And so what we started to see and we started to understand, and most importantly, we started to hear from the young people in our program, was that having a mentor, having just one caring, positive adult mentor, was making a significant difference in how they felt in their wellness and how their relationships with their peers were and their family were. And so what that's really helped us do is position ourselves for a relationship that is focused on wellness for young people at a time when it couldn't be more important.
Amazing. And so valuable today, especially with all we know about how the youth learns differently and building confidence to really help power those tools to go forward.
Absolutely.
Amazing. Well, now we all have a little bit of background on the genesis of the partnership. We have a quick video we'd love to share with you all about the campaign and some of the amazing work that we're going to set up with some questions in a little bit.
I'm so excited for this partnership with Ulta Beauty because it's going to really bring our full network of over 230 agencies across all 50 states together to a fundraising campaign at the point of sale at all Ulta Beauty stores across this country to raise critical funds for our mission and really bring awareness to mental health and well-being for youth across this country.
The Ulta Beauty Charitable Foundation's mission is really to reach women and teens to be building health and wellness kits.
The kits are going to go to benefit children ages 11 to 14. It's going to help them address like some of the gaps when it comes to mental health, just so we can be more on the side of mental well-being and to destigmatize the stigmas often surrounding mental health.
We are so excited to be supporting the Big Brothers Big Sisters organization in store.
We think it's so important to help support our local matches with their self-esteem, confidence, and overall mental health.
I'm really appreciative of Ulta's partnership to help everyone feel confident and beautiful in their own skin. That ties into what we do at Big Brothers Big Sisters, where our mission is to ignite potential, independent potential of youth so that they can become the best person that they can be.
This is just the beginning. It's our first POS campaign and the first time having Big Brothers Big Sisters here at our Field Leadership Conference. So we're just really excited to continue to grow the partnership and just see where it takes us.
We just want to say thank you to Big Brothers and Big Sisters for choosing us to partner with them.
Thank you for making the possibilities beautiful with the Big Brothers and Big Sisters Foundation.
Very powerful. So this question is for both of you guys. How do you collaborate with Big Brothers and Big Sisters to align on messaging and ensure a unified voice in both of your campaigns?
You know, I'd say our partnership, like every relationship that we develop, starts with shared authentic values. And so, you know, as we are an organization committed to justice, equity, diversity, inclusion, it helps to have to work with organizations that share those values. And, you know, when we look at creating a campaign, it's a co-branded campaign. So I think it's, you know, we get our marketing teams together and what you see come out is something beautiful.
I would say from an execution standpoint, it's no different than any other program, right? Having clear briefs, having clear objectives, goals, KPIs, requirements, et cetera. The open and strong relationship that the teams have really make a difference. And I think, you know, when I think about the partnership and where it's going to go, not to be cliche, but it reminds me of that proverb, right? If you want to go fast, go alone. If you want to go far, go together. And we are in a long-term partnership together to make sure that we are impacting lives and communities as we can.
Amazing. And as a follow-up question, a perfect point there, and going farther together, especially for our room of marketers here, are there any ways that you would recommend to the group on how this could possibly be replicated with other organizations, or perhaps some folks here today could learn something to take forward in their partnerships for 2025?
I would say, I think it goes back to the shared values, shared missions. There is such organic synergy between our organizations, our missions, our values, and that really sets the stage for everything.
I'll just build on it with authenticity. What you saw were real life bigs and littles in Ulta stores, and that's where they spend their weekends, is they're out shopping, they're out having fun, they're out giving each other makeovers. And so I think one of the really kind of exciting parts for launching this partnership, because again, the national partnership is new, was just getting out and having crews in stores and capturing that content that was already happening, and it is happening across America.
Amazing. And we do have, 1,300 stores nationwide that account up for about 90% of Big Brothers Big Sisters national network, which is a very exciting opportunity to really explore and dive deeper into a lot of the regions. And as you mentioned with the campaign, this is a great segue and something I'm curious to learn a little bit more in your perspective for, Adam. But in what ways did this national point of scale fundraising campaign really amplify and drive awareness for Big Brothers Big Sisters mental health awareness initiative?
I mean, first of all, just the footprint across the country, and then you think of every point of sale. That's just in store. That's just the brick and mortar footprint. every cash register, every front door was branded, co-branded with this Ulta Big Brothers Big Sisters relationship and partnership, and then on their website, right? And I think we all know when we look at the size of the traffic that's going to that site, so it immediately takes us as a nonprofit who's always looking for media and support and awareness and reach, and suddenly you've thrown gasoline on it thanks to the power of a brand like Ulta and a partnership like Ulta. So that's probably been really that's the marketing and cause marketing is helping amplify the causes that you invest in.
Angie, is there anything that you guys learned from a few of these activations, or even just those days of big brother, big sister, little sister makeover days from certain locations?
I think the impact that it had on our store associates was huge, right? Because we had these local activations in store, they saw the impact of the program on a one-to-one basis. They saw the impact that the program and they themselves were making on their communities. And that is huge. I think my favorite outcome, or one of my favorite outcomes, from the programs that we did was that we have seen an increased interest among Ulta Beauty associates to potentially become bigs. And that I think that trumps almost everything.
That's amazing, and you took the words right out of my mouth for what I was curious to learn more about, which is how are you guys engaging with employees, customers, other stakeholders to get more involved in some of these cause marketing initiatives?
Well, I mean, we had a number of components to the programs that we did. So everything from the point of sale donation to in-store activations to, at our field leadership event, we had our associates put together 2,000 wellness kits to distribute to Little. So we engaged our employees in a number of ways. But I would say overall, the credit just really needs to go to the people in the communities. The Big Brothers, Big Sisters local agencies, our Ulta Beauty store associates, the customers that came into the stores and engaged. I mean, this would not happen without them, and so really all the credit should go to them.
And in the spirit of giving, any names of local agencies you want to shout out or give more information for people to look into?
So we have 230 local agencies. You're just saying Harry was a part of the street team, right, with Sway, yeah. And that's a lot of like what our local Big Brothers Big Sisters agencies do is they get in, like they'll find, we'll just say that we have a national partnership with an Ulta, and they will show up there the next day. They want to meet the manager. They want to set up a table. So they really become part of that physical footprint, that experience in that community. So I'd say that's probably like the way that we do it and activate locally. What I think is special, 70% of our local agencies operate in rural communities. Many of those communities have access to Ulta stores, and so it's been really great to see that kind of expand beyond just the major metro markets, is that we're able to get into communities that maybe aren't reached so often with some of our corporate partnerships.
And that's really a lot of the important work that happens, right? Again, it's like, how are we using beauty as a force for good? And how are we teaching the importance of self-care? How are we, it's not about, like I said before, it's not about makeup, right? It is about self-care. It's about building that self-confidence that happens, like teaching the littles, like, skincare and what you can do to, and then these little things make huge differences, in their lives and how they feel about themselves. And that's really what we're trying to do.
Amazing. And I know we spoke about this a little bit last week before Thanksgiving. But especially with today's day and age post-pandemic and everyone kind of, you can't call it the new norm anymore because everyone's just used to this day-to-day. Yeah, just the norm, the Wild West norm. But for some of the points you mentioned about habits in our youth today, school, the kind of, ironically here to talk about where media intersects cause marketing, but pretty much how social media has done a lot of harm to our youths, and the fact that a lot of the mentors in the program have done such a good job helping, and what Ulta has done to really enforce the power of confidence, beauty. you name it, around this. What are your opinions on it, one? And two, what are some of the ways you've heard, either through stories or in store, where the big brothers, big sisters are kind of helping to educate and build power in navigating social media in today's world for students and youth?
Yeah, I'll go first. It's something that we, where we feel like we are a part of the solution is that we're putting a real person in the life, a caring adult mentor in the life of a young person. And so what it allows us to do is maybe take a break from the technology for a minute and, with the investment, and we're going to talk a little bit about how much Ulta raised, because that's worth celebrating too in their first year. But with the investment from Ulta, we've made specific, not just making more matches of bigs and littles, but investing in our youth wellness programs. And so piloting a wellness index with several of our agencies, rolling out a curriculum tract focused on youth wellness. It's not just for the young person, it's also for the volunteer, because I was a young 20-something when I became a big. I needed training on how to communicate with my little and build the relationship with my little. And then it's also available, we make it through an online learning platform called our Learning Exchange for also the parents and the guardians of the young people. And so our goal is to utilize the funding, the support that we've received from Ulta to really take this wellness to the next level by providing tools and curriculums for our families.
Social media, huh?
Yeah.
So I used to work at a social media platform before I worked at Ulta Beauty. It's tough. I think it's really tough. I have a 14-year-old son who is addicted to his screens, right? They're on it all the time. And I think having that person who can help them navigate, who can help them balance, and social media, as you can, it's like opposite ends of the spectrum, right? You have creators and influencers who have just made tremendous livings by being on social media, and then you see what happens at the other end of the spectrum, where it is damaging your self-confidence, your self-worth. And I think it is our responsibility, just overall, as somebody said this earlier, but as marketers, how are we using our influence? How are we using our scale? How are we using our access to try to help the kids navigate this so that it becomes a healthy relationship as opposed to a damaging one? So thank you guys for all being here. Obviously, you are into this, and it's such an important thing that we do. We take our marketing skills and the industries that we work in to do good by the young people.
Thank you so much. Both very well-rounded and perspective-filled answers. Thank you. So have one more question on my end for you guys before we open it up to the group. And just to make sure I get this perfectly right. So looking ahead, what are the long-term impacts you hope to see from this collaboration of Big Brothers Big Sisters mental health programs, and how will it continue to support ongoing well-being of the youth program and communities nationwide?
Well, I can start by saying we are just at the beginning of our journey. We, as you saw from the video, we launched our first national program together just earlier this year, and point to celebrate, right? Drum roll. We from that point of sale program, we raised over $2.4 million for Big Brothers Big Sisters.
May 19th through June 15th, it was less than a month.
Yes, it was, ran during Mental Health Awareness Month. And that impacted 200 locations and over 5,000 communities. So incredibly proud of the work that we have done just in that short amount of time. And we are looking to continue to do that, expand into more communities, impact the lives of more people, both from young people that are signed up to Big Brothers and Big Sisters, but also within our Ulta Beauty community and associates who are just so moved and just so supportive of everything that we're doing.
Yeah. And just, for the future, I'll say, as the marketer, this was like our first time out of the gates. So now it's like the ideas for storytelling, just like, especially as we see bigs and littles in the store, like goes crazy. So I see that a lot in our future. But then as an advocate for this mission, I think that youth wellness index that we talked about is something to keep our eye on, because we're going to be able to see the progress that we're making in supporting and empowering young people.
Amazing. Thank you so much. Give it up for Adam and Angie, guys. And then if we have time for any questions from the group, anybody? All right.
One quick one, since I have a mic, may as well go for it here. So you mentioned something towards the end on mental health aspect, and I do a lot of work in that, as well as a number of people here. And as they look at Big Brothers, Big Sisters, they look at it from a mentoring lens, but there's also billions and billions of dollars being spent against how do we deliver for mental health, where you guys happen to have a vehicle, as an example, to be able to do that. It may not necessarily come to mind initially. How do people better understand the kind of work that you're doing when money goes in and you're mentoring different people, the kinds of impacts you're having at a base level on the mental health side? Because I think that would help draw a massive additional capital infusion if people looked at it through that lens.
Yeah. We're actually, Michael and Adam are here, we're going to be launching a campaign next year specifically focused on this, is making sure that, yes, mentorship is important. It's not just nice, it's necessary. And making sure that we're really calling, I talked a lot about college and career readiness earlier today. Youth mental health and wellness is that other space. And we have ages of, decades of research, some led by the CDC, just on how important a caring, positive adult mentor and citing Big Brothers, Big Sisters is to supporting positive well-being for a young person.
Thank you. Thanks again to the panel. Hand for the panel. And, oh,